Well, we almost went live for Establish the Show, but Drew caught it at the last moment. So we're here to talk injuries. It's nice. The one I'm subbing in for, it's pretty straightforward slate here. I guess we're getting out of the worst of it with the health and safety protocols. It's only, 4-game slate tonight. Nothing too crazy on the docket. How you doing today, Drew?
I'm doing well. And for all those that have been asking about Mike Gallagher, he is on the mend. He has a COVID test scheduled today to find out if he officially has the OMI, as it's been referred to in the streets. But yeah, so we'll find out. He said he's feeling a lot better today. So we're hopeful that some more rest and relaxation from Mike and fluids and all that good stuff will get him back on the mend. So we have on a slate that we don't know if the NBA Andrew Wiggins will be playing. We have the real Andrew Wiggins to break down the injuries.
That's right. Let's start with Memphis. Like I said already, there's not a ton of impactful stuff here, but you've got Melton and Brooks potentially coming back from protocols here. If they do not come back, you're looking at a very thin team. What are you thinking with Memphis?
Yeah, so I think it's very likely that Brooks and Melton do return today. Kyle Anderson and Desmond Bane are listed as doubtful, and we've seen them play without Kyle Anderson for a game or two now, but we have not seen them play without Desmond Bane very much. And if they were without Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, DeAnthony Melton, John Conchar, and Kyle Anderson, they just are like way low on wings. So good to hear we're getting straight from the sources, just like Yusuf Nurkic posting on Twitter. We've got straight from the sources in chat. Gallagher expects himself to be probable tomorrow.
Love it.
I love the return to competition, reconditioning, get those vocal cords loosened up, Mike. But if Memphis was without all these guys, I think you might even see like Zaire Williams slide into the starting lineup in that scenario, because they'd be so thin on the wings. They could obviously start Tyus Jones next to John Morant. But this would be a situation where Memphis is usually a team that plays 10 deep almost every night. And this would be a situation where they wouldn't have enough bodies to really do that on the wings. And in a matchup against Detroit, it would be one that would allow us to have a lot of DFS value from some of these guys, because you just get into the spot where like Zaire Williams would have to play a bunch. Killian Tilly would have to play a bunch. Jarrett Culver might even have to play a bunch in these spots. Now, I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're going to see Dylan Brooks and DeAnthony Melton back in the mix. And as a result, I think it's not going to provide like a plethora of value to be able to attack. But if they do, just realize Memphis would be really thin, and it would be a place to attack.
Yeah, that game starts half an hour after lock, so we should know it time of lock. On the other side, they're facing Detroit. You've got the likely return of Isaiah Stewart, maybe Corey Joseph. What are you seeing with Detroit?
Yeah, it's a spot where they have not submitted the injury report yet. We do know that Isaiah Stewart had cleared health and safety protocols, and he was held out yesterday for a return to competition reconditioning. So the hope is that was front end of back-to-back. They're being cautious. They bring him back tonight. We'll see, though. They also are on the last of their 10-day contracts with Micah Potter and Justin Robinson. Potter played well last night. Supposedly, they were giving those guys an extra look because they were towards the end of their 10 days. I don't know if that means that we see less of them tonight because they got kind of an extended look last night against Charlotte, or if that means we, again, get another extended look at them tonight. And if we did, if Isaiah Stewart was in, that would probably mean that Luka Garza would probably lose his rotation spot under that scenario. So it's a situation to monitor. There are two teams on back-to-backs that did not file their injury reports right now, and Detroit and Golden State. I think Golden State's going to be more impactful than Detroit, but Detroit is a spot to keep an eye on if we get Isaiah Stewart back.
People asking about the hat. I have not given an explanation. I didn't know I need to, but this is the dad version of Wiggins. I was watching my daughter all morning, and then the mouse exterminator was coming over, so I had to run out, and we got some snow overnight, so I was shoveling. So I haven't put in the contacts. My hair is a mess, so I just left the hat on. The mountain living, killing mice, shoveling snow, touting NBA, and man, I'm bummed. Fields just got put in COVID protocol. Ready for the next year start for the Bears. Kind of how it always ends, unfortunately. All right, the other big situation is the Warriors. We don't have a lot of information here. We're kind of guessing. Are we moving Curry to out in our projections?
We have Curry out right now. The post-game press conference indicated that it was very unlikely that we'd expect Steph to play tonight. He's been going through a pretty heavy shooting slump of late. I think he's probably just a little bit worn down. Second night of a back-to-back game in New Orleans, a pretty winnable game without him. They've got Jordan Poole back. They've got Andrew Wiggins back. So I think it's a good spot. for them to get a little bit of rest for Steph. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw it for Dre too. They rested Andre Iguodala and Otto Porter last night. Technically, Iguodala was not rest. Technically, it's the knee issue that he plays once every 3 weeks against some good team, bangs a couple threes, puts up a near triple double, and then goes back home to rest for a little bit while longer. But I think we could see more rest than just Steph here. I think Dre would be the most likely candidate under that scenario. I do think, they don't need Dre as much in this matchup as normal because they can play more big center minutes with Looney up against Jonas Valanciunas. And then they also have JTA, Juan Toscano Anderson, to be kind of the backup, small ball 5 that they use with Dre. They have Bielitsa. They have Otto Porter Jr. They have all these bodies that they can make this work. So I expect that we will get this injury update probably right as we're getting on off the show at 2:30 Eastern, or a little after we get off the show, just because you generally have to file by 1:30 of the time zone that you're in that day, and they're going to be in New Orleans. So 2:30 Eastern would be 1:30 Central, and I think that's when we'll get more Warriors information.
This is music to my ears, True. I'm facing against a team in my season long that has Curry and Dre. Important matchup.
Yeah, they rest those guys up, get them back for Saturday for Clay's return. I kind of think it makes sense. So we'll see.
Makes sense. I'm with you on that. But we still have Dre in, obviously. We'll know more about that later. The other questionable tag, I guess, is Nerlens Noel. Conditioning. I don't think this probably swings a whole lot.
I don't think so either. They've been comfortable playing Taj and Mitch at the 5 a lot here. Matchup with the Celtics, you do want some of that that athletic ability and that verticality that Nerlens Noel and Mitch Robinson present to just challenge Time Lord a little bit more. It's a little bit of a tougher matchup for Taj Gibson to be successful in, but it's one that, we've seen the Knicks take things slowly with guys return to competition conditioning, but Nerlens only plays 16 to 18 minutes most nights. I think that's probably the way that we see this. We probably see 16, 18, 20, somewhere around there for him. If he does play, Mitch Robinson gets into the mid-20s, and then they fill some center minutes with either Taj or Julius Randle or Obi Toppin, those types of guys.
Yep. And, of course, Rose and Kemba remain out there. Final game, we don't have much. We have a bunch of guys still out. Jay Crowder, Ayton, McGee.
Yep.
On the other side, you got PG, Luke Kennard, Hartenson, and Zubac. And then the one questionable tag is Brandon Boston Jr., who I'm told is actually more important than you may imagine.
Yeah, just getting wing depth for the Clippers is a big deal these days. Without Kennard, without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard, obviously, without Xavier Moon as well, who got put on health and safety protocols. So it's a spot with the Clippers where if Brandon Boston Jr. is available, we've got him for 20 minutes in the rotation. So a decent little rotation chunk there that we'd have to move around if he wasn't. Nicholas Batum is also questionable on the injury report, but they've tweeted out they expect that he will play. He's been practicing. It's been kind of a rough go of it for Batum, kind of getting back into shape with this right ankle sprain. So we'll see how much he can handle there. Obviously, they've been having to, kind of ham and egg it at the center position with Serge Ibaka and then Marcus Morris. And then if they have Batum, they're easier to play those kind of smaller ball lineups. Justice Winslow's been getting minutes there as well. So Batum's return should cut into those a little bit. And then on the Phoenix side, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, and JaVale McGee are all out with return to competition reconditioning. But the good thing is they've cleared health and safety protocols. So it shouldn't be too much longer until we get these guys back. In the absence, Jalen Smith will continue to carry a big workload at the center spot. And we've seen the addition of Bismack Biyombo, who they signed for the rest of the season, will be that primary backup center and have a role. So that'll keep Smith's minutes from getting out into the mid to upper 30s. Still chances to get into the low 30s with Bismack behind him.
All right. Did we cover it all? I think we did.
That's it. These injury shows can be really quick on the right days.
I'm sure they can be really long too.
Yeah, you found the right day to sub in for Gallagher.
Good stuff. Well, shout out to Gallagher. Feel better, buddy. And Drew and I recorded a podcast about an hour ago. I assume it'll be up in the next couple hours. So keep your eye out for that. And then Gary is on the show.
Yeah, Gary and myself, 5:30 behind the paywall today. So, Established Run subscribers, it's the premium DFS content. Make sure to join us there as we'll break down the DFS slate. I think we had a good read on things last night. Gary had a little bit of tough luck with the flag plant Kyle Lowry getting ejected in the second quarter, where he was well on his way to a big game Jokic came through for me with the Andrew Wiggins flag plant special. Just flag plant Jokic every time. Works.
Usually works.
Works 120% of the time every time. And if you are not a subscriber to Established Run's premium DFS content, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Help us continue to provide this great free content for you guys each and every Monday through Friday at 2:00 Eastern.
All right. There you have it. Thanks for watching, guys, and go Bears.